How many parkas do you have?
Millions, man, millions.
Where do you keep them?
Right, well, I've got like warehouses and that, like scattered up and down the country because I've moved house millions of times. Obviously, I've been divorced a few times, so they're all over the shop. But I've got all my tasty ones in the house and that.
You've got warehouse, like you've got storage.
Mm.
So you've forgotten about them, right? You don't.
Oh no, I know exactly. I know exactly where they all are.
So if you wanted a particular brand of this particular,
but if all the ones that I've got have been hammered, you know what I mean. So the new ones, like you got to keep moving with the times, aren't you? But I've got a few good ones from the past and that.
I interviewed Nile Rodgers and he'd never thrown away a pair of jeans.
I know, I've heard, yeah.
40, 50 years worth of denim.
Yeah, why not, man?
You're going to be the same.
Well, no, because if if you've got good taste, then everything that you've bought should stand the test of time, shouldn't it? Unless you've took some mad acid and you start buying weird, you know what I mean? Like everything that I've got is pretty cool, so I don't want to throw it away. But you've got to keep launching it, haven't you? Sometimes.
I mean, you seem like a supremely self-confident individual, but is there any pictures that you look at 90s, noughties, and go, "Nah, mate, I shouldn't have worn that. I was a
well." There was one where I've got like a cut-off T-shirt. I just had a tattoo, so I thought it was 10 men, and I might have done one press up and that. You know what I mean? I thought I was 11 men. So that was, I was in LA and I was got a bit of a suntan. I was going, ah, shit, but it was all a bit bunged over.
What cut off like?
It was a T-shirt that I cut off, and I didn't. It was dodgy, man. But I think that's the only one where I took my eye off the ball.
Where does that confidence come from? Because quite often, Liam, when you speak to artists, there's a kind of a core insecurity there, which kind of almost powers them to project themselves forward. But it's so rare to spot your insecurity.
Because I know who I am, man. I know exactly who I am before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning. So being me is easy, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that they're not really being themselves, are they? They're being lots of other people, and that's a tricky road, tricky path you go down because you never know who you really are. I know who exactly I am, and I'm very comfortable in my own skin, so easy, isn't it?
Well, but the
easiest thing to do is be yourself.
Well, it? That's true. That's very true.
Once you've got you mastered, it's doddle, isn't it?
Well, you're definitely an expert in being you. There's no one else that's going to be.
Well,
but then there's lots of people that whisper. The things that make us insecure, I guess, is other people's opinions of us.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm not interested. I know how great I am, and I know how I am. You know what I mean? I know when I'm having a bad day, and I know when I'm having a good day. And there's days I walk past the mirror and I go, you know what? Don't know what all the fuss is about. But on the way back, I sort of go, yeah, I know what all the fuss is about. You know what I mean? So I do have my insecurities only for a split second, but I soon snap out of it.
And I guess you have to be very confident in yourself to make music and put yourself out there, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've been doing it. This is what I do, innit? You know what I mean? I've been doing it for years. You know what I mean? For 20 years or whatever. And I love making music, and I love being in a band or whatever it is. And that's the only thing I can do. So,
when you're not doing it, how do you feel? Because I mean, you're now prolific. It seems like you've got an engine behind you now.
Well, no, I'm working with some really good like songwriters. You know what I mean? So they do all the hard bits. I sort of just jib in at the end and sort of just make it happen. You know what I mean? But no, I mean,
when you're away from it, do you miss it, or do you?
Well, there was only one time that I had a bit of a when I sort of thought, well, after BDI when we knocked that on the head. It was like I had 4 years of having to get some personal stuff sorted out, and I was thinking, you know what, I haven't got a band. This is the first time in like 20 years I didn't have a band, and I didn't have people to go and write songs with or whatever. So that was the first I was thinking, how am I going to get back in the ring and that, you know what I mean? Do I start a band again? Do I go under another name? And I thought, there's no point starting a band again and going under another name because we did that with BDI and it sort of didn't work. So I thought the next best thing, I'm always going to be the guy in Oasis. So the next, obviously Oasis weren't happening or isn't happening, so the next best thing is to just go under my own name. So that was easy, you know what I mean? But no, I did miss it. I just didn't want to do it for a bit. I just thought I need to get some personal stuff sorted out. But I knew once I got all that out of the way, I'd be back doing it.
How well do you think you've balanced being a dad with being a rock star?
Easy, man. I'm a good dad, man.
You're really happy with the kids? They've turned out really
well? Yeah, man, they're all good, man. It's not all just to do with me. Obviously,
of course.
Obviously, their mums are good as well. But I think I've got a good relationship with my kids, man. We have a good laugh, and if they, you know, if they step out of line, I'll sort of pull them back in, but I let them get on with, you know, you've got to make your own mistakes, and you've got to do your own thing, you've got to walk your own path and that, but you know, I think the kids respect me and I respect them, so we just leave it at that, innit?
I love that story of Gene coming to Burnage and going,
Yeah.
that's if you've got a posh house.
Yeah.
Like he thought you were super hood, like it had to look like the hood.
Yeah, he thought it was the Bronx or something. I was like, I went, listen, mate, Burnage is a nice place. I was born in Longside, and that's, I mean, that's nice as well. I mean, you know, we weren't born in, we weren't.
Yeah, like you said, it weren't South Central Los Angeles.
Yeah, everyone bangs on about it being like, but my mum made it nice, you know what I mean? She made our house nice, you know what I mean? And it's not, and Burnage is not, but it's a nice area, you know what I mean? But it's still scally, man. It's still a few moody little heads around there, but it was nice, man.
I thought your reaction to that was brilliant, though. It's like, you go to Saint-Tropez twice a year,
exactly.
don't lecture me on
this. You go to
school.
a private school, you little He had his first stone out parka when he was like 7, and he's calling me posh. Do you know what I mean?
Not having a bean of that, were you?
No way, mate.
Not having a bean of that.
He got flick.
But that's interesting in itself, like, to what is it? Because you didn't grow up. No one was giving you expensive coats when you were that age, right?
Way.
So were you not worried about distorting their reality by giving them expensive things like that at such a young age?
No, because that's what you do it for, don't you, man? You sort of you teach, you know, you try and teach them, like, you know, to be. I think they're polite kids and that, you know what I mean? I'm sure they'll look when I'm not there and all that, and they're out with their mates thinking of 10 men and that, but deep down, I can tell them. I can tell whether they're slipping away and that, or they're acting a bit dodgy and that. But that's what I work for. You work for, you know. I couldn't be one of them people where I'm going, right, you can only have, you know, what I've got. What's mine is theirs. You know what I mean?
Are you that materialistic?
No.
Because you spent obviously a lot of money on parkas over the years.
Yeah, no,
but
I like.
Could have probably bought another house.
Yeah, no, I like my clothes and that, but I don't. I've had the odd watch and that every now and again, but I'm not too keen on it. I'm not that. Don't buy cars. I haven't got cars and that, and like, but I like clothes. That's my thing.
I mean, one day, like, you could really imagine, you know, when you're in your 60s, a V&A Liam Gallagher. Would you like that?
No, I don't know, man. It's just clothes.
There's a look, though.
I know,
there?
but it's just parkas, isn't it? And suede shoes.
Come on,
stuff.
there's a look. This doesn't just happen.
No, but I know there's loads of cool people out there, though, man. That, like, they've probably got better wardrobes than me, and they're just normal folk that just do normal jobs, I guess. It's just the way it is, isn't it? People like clothes. I've always liked clothes, man. But my clothes are not. They're not like Bowie's gear or Jagger's gear or like that. They're just parkas, aren't they?
But don't you think? I mean, I was reminded of the real Slim Shady, with that song when Eminem sang about all these Slim Shadys.
Oh yeah.
There are a million and one Liam clones.
There is indeed, and they're all beautiful.
You have an amazing relationship with people. Twitter has been an amazing thing. For someone in your late 40s, you and I are the same age, you've really embraced that ability to connect with people directly like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was saying to Debbie the other day, so I don't even know how I got into it. Because I'm not even, I've got my phone here and I've got my mates' numbers in it, my missus, my family and all that, and I don't, you know, there's apps on there that I don't even know how they got there, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not down with all that. I don't know anything about it, but the Twitter thing, I don't know how I got into that. But no, I do enjoy it. I like speaking to the people, you know what I mean? I like giving back or letting them know where my head's at. I'm not just after their money, I'm after their time as well.
And you do genuinely connect. I've seen it, I've read it. People have said something and you've
gone...
gone...
It, man. I wish them all, I bid them all a farewell at night and that, you know, and send them all the love and all that. I like having a banter with them, man. And there's a few cheeky people on there that need putting in the places and that, but it's just a laughing at me, really. It's just... I think it's a good equaliser, Twitter, because I don't really speak to the press and that, so when people are like, you know, telling porkies and that, it's nice to just get it straight.
This second solo album, it's got so much passion and soul in it, right? How happy do you feel about your life right now?
Well happy. This is the happiest I've been for a bit. I mean, for a long time. It's like I'm in a good place at the moment, nice. Got everything kind of, I wouldn't say I've got it sussed, you know what I mean, but I'm in it's a nice pace. I know when to go to bed, I know when to get up, and I know, you know what I mean, it's like, I don't really hit it as hard as I used to, so got my kids around me, got my missus and that, my mum's all happy and everything's good. The only spanner in the works is you know who, you know what I mean, but that's life. But it's all good, man.
Doesn't that spanner upset your mum?
Yeah, of course, man, but that's life, innit, I guess. There's always one bad egg in the family, isn't there? You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? She's still got me, she's still got our kid, our Paul and that. So it is what it is. He's just having one of his weird, I think he's having a midlife crisis and that, but there you go. It's down to him, and it's down to the people around him. Like, there's only so many like olive branches you can give someone, you know what I mean, without sort of going, well, actually, I don't think he really cares anymore, but that's life. Let's see how it ends up.
Because I'm one of two brothers and I'm the younger one. And I just imagine my mum would be just distraught if me and my brother broke up like that.
Well, that's what I mean. I was saying the other day, look, you know what I mean, if God forbid something happens to my mum, you know what I mean, and we haven't made up by then there will be war, you know what I mean, because there's been so many opportunities on his behalf to it's not about the band getting back together. I'm not asked about that. It's about just going, look, let's go for a beer, let's have a chat or whatever. And obviously, I in the press and he says stuff and his missus says something and I says something and all that, and it's all childish and we should all grow up and all that. But at the end of the day, basically, it's down to him, innit? You know what I mean?
Is one of us an olive branch?
Yeah, of course, man. But that's the last one, man. There'll be no more. It's like, look, but there's lots of things on the album that you could put towards him because he's a big part of my life. You know what I mean? Me and him was in this band, and it wasn't just. It meant a lot. Like it should do. You know what I mean? But
what do you miss about him?
Just being in a band, man. Having a crack with him. You know what I mean?
About him?
Having a banter and just having a laugh and just all that stuff. You know what I mean? But there you go. That's life, isn't it?
You've got loads of love around you. I mean, you're not lacking for love.
Oh no. Well, I tell you what it is, man. When I was the last days in Oasis, there was a lot of in the area, a lot of in our dressing rooms that were all coming from his side. So I'm glad that at the moment I haven't got one around me, not one.
We need a lot of positivity in these times.
We do,
Liam.
We do indeed.
Do you feel it? Do you feel the division in the country? It's interesting. Since I left London, London is a separate country.
Totally.
Right. And when I moved to Manchester, well, I actually live. I'm not going to say where I live, but I live near Manchester, and I'm in the heart of it. Like I'm not in the country. I'm not in Wilmslow or Hale or any of them places. I'm in the heart of it, and I understand more why Brexit happened when I travel to those areas, but. You're from those areas, but now you live in the bubble, right? Does it scare you, the way the country's going?
It's been like,
Because you've got kids, right?
Yeah, no, I'm more worried about like the... Yeah, but I think that they're going to be kind of lucky, and they kind of got it easy, and hopefully they'll get their own path and all that. Well, not shielded but they've got it a lot easier than a lot of other kids. You know what I mean? They've got a lot easier than what we had it, but.
Even though Jim thinks you're posh.
Yeah, even though he thinks I'm posh, not yeah. But the violence and all the kids getting stabbed and that's dodgy, and all the acid and stuff getting but that's happening up and down the country. But yeah, it is England at the moment, man. God knows what's going to happen.
Can music change?
Yeah, man. World? I think that's when it comes. I think that when the politicians are not paying attention and stuff like that, I think that's when music sort of. And real people, I hate the word artists, but the real people, that's when they come to the top and they reach out more, or they mean more than what the politicians do anyway, or whatever. But
with an election coming, would you vote?
I don't vote, man. I've not voted because I got Prime Minister's questions on all the time, and people to sit there and go, well, how come I was brought up in the Labour House? We'd never be conservative and that, ever. But and I sit there and people go, oh, well, if you know a little bit about it and you're watching the news, I've constantly got the news on, checking them out, but I'm still none of the wiser, you know what I mean? So it's like I wouldn't know what to think. They're all full, you know what I mean? So
you wouldn't just not vote?
No, man. And I know people go, oh, well, that's not going to do anything. I just don't know where to. I don't know where to.
What to believe?
I just don't know where to. Put me, if anything, I'd go for the finger, the people who, you know, the Green Party and that, the ones who were talking about the planet Earth and that, because that's the most important thing, isn't it?
You get to a stage where you're.
That's where I would go for, because that's pretty much common sense, isn't it? The rest of the other parties are aren't they?
You get to a stage where you begin to learn more from your kids. What have you learnt from them?
Oh God, what have I learnt from them? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because you only met one of them for the first
time.
Well,
Molly,
a year or so
no,
ago.
she's top. I don't know what I've learnt from him. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if I've learnt anything from him.
Because they're older now, right? They're teenagers and they're...
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to teach me much, are they? You know what I mean? I'm one of them, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know, man. I kind of know what's kind of right and wrong anyway. You know what I mean?
And that came from Peggy, presumably.
Without a doubt, yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah, I reckon it's more what I could teach them. You know what I mean? But I enjoy the company, and we have a laugh and all that.
You're the friend kind of dad. You're not the disciplinarian.
I am. Well, yeah, I haven't got much legs to stand on, have I really? You know what I mean? I can't be saying don't be doing that and don't be doing this. You know what I mean? But if they are stepping out of line, I'd have a word with them. I'd say, look, don't take and all's cool, and I won't take the we use, and we treat each other with respect. You know what I mean? So, more of that.
So much of your life has been lived in public.
Mm.
You know, as you get older, it's more on your terms now, isn't it?
What?
Because the control of people's access to you, right?
Right.
In your 20s, you were just out there and doing what 20-year-olds do, but you had more money and more fame to be able to do it. Now, what is your kind of relationship like? Privacy, your attitude towards your privacy?
Oh, I don't really go out that much, man. To be fair, if I need to get anything from town, I'll go in first thing in the morning. I'll be stood outside the shop soon before it opens. You know what I mean? And I'll scoot in, do my business, get back in the car, and I'm done by 11 o'clock. So I just stay around the house and that. And if we go out to the pub, we go to our local, and that's basically it. Really, we don't really go into town to eat. We sort of just stay in. So it's one of them, you know what I mean? We just don't go to these celebrity parties or anything, even though we get invited and that. But I've seen it all before.
Mate, you've done loads of it.
Well,
what more can you do?
So it's not for me, man, all that stuff. And plus, all these camera phones and that, you know what I mean? So I just sort of stay around my ends, as they say.
What's your adrenaline rush now then?
Music, doing the gigs.
You're looking forward to getting back on stage?
Yeah, no, I can't wait, man. I always love singing the songs to the people, man. I love it, man. I might not look like it, but I do love it, man. It's totally.
Well.
No, I am miserable on that stage, you know. But I'm punk, you know what I mean. I haven't got. You don't see punks smiling and all that tackle. It's a serious business we're in here, man. I'm not.
You're not miserable.
I am.
That's your vibe.
I'm a bit aggy though as well. I get when I know if I know it's not right. Normal people would just let it go. I'm just like that. I just get a bit like. I'm just driven with passion. That's what it is.
Do you bawl out band members if they get things wrong?
No.
You don't do the James Brown thing and find them.
No, it's not, because that's that. I don't mean it to sort of work on it. It's more I'm more self-critical of myself, really. You know what I mean? If I hit a bum note or like that, or I didn't attack the mic that right, I'm sort of more. I give myself a lot of stick, which is a good thing.
Yeah, of course it is. Striving for perfection is never a bad thing. That love, that concentrated love that you feel from those audiences, does it still feel as strong as it did when you walked out on Nebworth?
Totally, yeah, definitely. I've definitely seen a cycle in the change, you know what I mean? Like towards the end of Oasis, it was maybe just the people that was into us, you know what I mean? And then the people that were there at the beginning, they probably just had kids. So there was a lack of, you know, when you've got kids and all that, like you asked about a band, you know what I mean, you've got your other stuff going on. So there was a bit of a dip of people not really listening or not like kind of as much into it because they've got their own lives to lead, lead and all that, and I get that. But now that their kids have got to a certain age and now they're bringing up their kids are coming to our gigs and they're bringing the vibe back again, so it comes in cycles, you know what I mean, and hopefully these 18-year-old kids that are coming to our gigs, or 16 or whatever, they'll stay with us or me or whatever until they're 30, 40, and then they'll have kids, and hopefully it'll just go round and round like the Stones, man. And who knows? And the main thing is hopefully we're here to witness it and still be part of it.
What do you put your success down to? I mean, I guess as you were when that came out, that turbocharged you again. I just interviewed Iggy Pop last week, and it was, I think, 2003 or whatever, when he almost like got a rebirth, a second chapter of his life.
Yeah, it's like cycles, isn't it? I just think you just got to keep stay at it, man. I think, you know, it's no divine right. You've not got no divine right to be number one or to have loads of people at your gigs. You know what I mean? But when the rough patches it, you've just got to keep going, haven't you? It's like a boxing match, isn't it? You're going to have to take a couple of hits every now and again. You know what I mean? You can't be knocking them out all the time in the first round. And if you've got to go the full 10 rounds, try and make sure you don't get hit as much as the other geezer.
His album was called Free because he felt he was more free than he'd ever been.
Right.
I mean, you've got everything going on. You've got critics love your records again, right?
Right, okay.
Yeah,
I've not checked that out.
Well, mate, they are, right?
I've seen a couple of reviews that have been
the
nice.
NME one was 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
right?
that's nice.
You know, and that hasn't always been the case, right?
No,
With
no,
critics and stuff like that. You're also, I think it's important to mention Debbie because
Yeah.
you're also, in terms of love, you're in an amazing place.
Totally, man.
How does that feed the music, being in a relationship with her?
Well, I think, you know, everyone wants to be happy, don't they, man? That's the name of the game, innit? You know what I mean, really? But we've had our moments when we were, you know, when the thing is with Debbie, she was there when I was getting divorced and all the other stuff was going down. There was a lot of stress involved, you know what I mean? In and out of court and stuff like that, and you know, it's all my fault or what am I doing and that. But so I think you just got to ride that and not get too down about it, and you'll always see a light at the end of the tunnel, you know what I mean? So now, because we've gone through that, it's all nice.
Do you internalise stress? What do you do with stress in stressful situations? Because going through court and having a terrible divorce is
what I
stressful.
do, I'll go for a run every now and again and get that off. But soon, it all just waits, man. Waits for that song to happen. Wait for that gig, man. That's why I'm like I'm going to kill someone when I'm up there on that microphone. You know what I mean? And I know you can't say. I don't mean physically kill someone. You know what I mean? But
you're going to attack it.
I'm going to attack it, and everything that's in there. If you need to be angry about a certain song, or not angry, but like give it a bit more than, you know, that's where it comes out. And if you need a bit more passion when you're singing a quieter one, then that kind of stuff as well.
What's the Oasis song that you feel most emotionally connected to? So when you sing it, it really does take you to another.
Rock and Roll Star, Live Forever, all of them really, man. I sing them all. I give it everything I've got, man, with all of them.
Liam, it's been great.
Nice one.
Mate, thanks for hanging out with us.
You're welcome.
You're not that posh.
I ain't posh. I'm rough as Nah, I'm not rough as